I am so excited because the Step Out TV shows are back live on T2I TV. And for those who don't know, Step Out is a series of interviews and motivational segments designed to bring the best out of you and your business. Therefore, we have the following TV programs. Our first TV program, which is our flagship program, dubbed Step Out with Oscar Bimpong, is designed to interview consultants, experts, talented people, and those doing exceptionally well in their communities. The second one is Step Out SME Focus. This is where we interview business owners and showcase their products and services. The third one is Step Out Youth Impact Zone. This is where we interview young people succeeding against all odds to serve as an inspiration to other young people. And the last one is Step Out Authors Corner. And this is where we interview authors to share what their book is about to the world. Join us every week, like T2I TV on Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. To advertise or for further information, do WhatsApp +44 759 1152 983 or +233 55 580 3924 or email info@traintoinspire.com. T2I TV, we engage, educate, enlighten, and empower.
Welcome to another exciting edition of the Step Out with Oscar Bimpong show, and tonight is no exception. Oscar Bimpong, Step Out with Oscar Bimpong is where we bring you expert consultants, people doing exceptionally well in their communities, talented people, for them to come and share topics designed to shape your life, designed to shape your vision, cause you to believe again, and cause you to understand that it can be done. Because if they can do it, then you also can do it. Tonight, I've got a very powerful man. This person is not new to my programs. He's been on my radio shows in the past, but tonight, she is on T2I TV UK. And trust me, we're going to have a very good conversation. What I want you to do is to share this for somebody to have an opportunity to watch this powerful discussion with my guest. Also, like our page on Facebook, T2I TV UK, and also on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, before I call my guest, I want to talk about a few sponsors of this program. This program is sponsored by Train to Inspire Consultancy. That is your business training and consulting firm. That is for all your business training needs. Also for all your business startup development and building strategy. What you need is Train to Inspire Consultancy. Also ZP Ghana Limited, your remittance and mobile money company based in Ghana. They just launched their ZP mobile money USSD code, which is *270#. Just dial it on your phone and register for Pay mobile money. If you want to contact any of our sponsors, their contact details scrolling the screen, take them and contact them. Also, if you really want to sponsor any of our shows, take the number for T2I TV UK or Train to Inspire Consultancy to sponsor any of our shows. Also, if you want to support what we are doing in any form or in any shape or form, just take the same number, contact us and support us, because we bring you weekly discussions and we want to take these discussions to young people where we are going to give them support. We are going to give them the necessary skills that they need for them to succeed in the marketplace. In Africa, a lot of students are trained how to really do well in the academics. So they get the first class, they get the second upper, but the skills that they need to survive in the marketplace, nobody teaches them. And that is what T2I TV UK and Train to Inspire Consultancy, this is where we are bridging the gap. We are bridging the gap between academia and the marketplace. And we are starting from T2I TV UK to bring in personal development discussions that are designed to give you knowledge, discussions that are designed to really bring you to the level that you belong in life. And tonight's discussion is no exception. Now, the question is, who do I have on the hot seat? As I said earlier on, this is a man that I have known for so many years. He is a person you would like to have an opportunity to meet. But God be so good, I've had the opportunity to meet him so many times, to the extent that I guess last year, or was it 2019? Yeah, time really moves fast. I had the opportunity to have a lunch with him where he was an independent presidential candidate, and we really had a very good time. And who is this person I'm talking about? She's got 20 years experience covering donor funds and grants grants management. He's into auditing, accounting and diplomacy, financial management, bilateral and multilateral operations, overseas operations, soft skills, due diligence, risk management, and executive coaching. And this man also is passionate about politics. This is just the first stanza of his LinkedIn page, so you can imagine what follows. Please welcome Marricke Kofi Gane, the man on the hot seat. Please welcome to Step Out with Oscar Bimpo, and you are live on T2I TV UK.
Oscar, thank you for having me. Always a delight to be to have these conversations with you. So thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Never better.
Wow.
Never better.
Wow.
Good as gold.
Wow. now, our topic for discussion: Ghana politics. The good,
Ghana politics,
the bad, and the ugly. Now,
you know, that used to be one of my favorite films: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
But let me go straight to business, right? I always ask everybody. So the first time, for somebody that is watching us for the first time, who is Marricke Kofi Gane in your own words?
Oh, Marricke Kofi Gane is a Ghanaian, full-blooded Ghanaian. I'm not from Togo. I was born in Keta. Grew up in Keta, you know, with the Fisher folks. Went to AME Zion Primary School, and then left for Nigeria to be with my dad for a while. Came back to Keta Secondary School. Finished Keta Secondary School, got admission to read chemistry, decided to go back and study accounting, which has been the love of my life since then. And worked in Ghana for quite a while, decided to go out. So I did venture to the UK and did all of Europe. And then some years back, I think about 5 or so years back, decided to head back to Ghana to help build our beloved country. And that likely is you know, my story, really. Very, very simple story.
But let me ask you this: a lot of us living in the diaspora, right? Most of us, our aim is we are going to go home, but we never get the boldness to really pick our backs one day like the way you did. What is the trick? What is the trick? I want to help some of my brothers and myself.
The trick is, this is my view, because I think I've tried both ends, which is picking up your bag one day and leaving. But I've also tried the other approach, and I think what really works is that, for me, a few things. One, don't just get up and come. You know, come a few times. If it is twice a year, spend about a month. That helps you familiarize, because one of the things we don't realize, Oscar, is that just as when we leave to another man's country, we need to have a total reorientation to be able to live there. Once you get used to living there, when you come back, you'll be surprised you actually need an even deeper reorientation, because you might think you know Ghana, but you realize that after being somewhere else, things look different to you, and you have to readjust. So if you can do that a few times, you are in a better position to be able to come back someday and decide what you want to do. Plus, if you can do that, you tend to be able to find the right opportunities for yourself before you actually make the final move. But if there is one other last thing I'll say about coming back, it is this: keep your connections in Ghana close. Don't, that's one of the mistakes. I have certainly made some of those mistakes. Others have also made those mistakes. But one thing I'll advise people: keep your connections in Ghana very close. Don't lose those connections until you are ready to come back, and then you start trying to reconnect and all that. Keep those connections healthy. It will pay off in the end.
Wow. Keep those connections healthy, and it's going to pay in the end. And I think
Absolutely.
one of the things that I've realized whenever I come to Ghana, that every institution that you go, it looks like you are a total stranger, because you don't see your mates, you don't see your colleagues anymore. But the few that you have, we don't even keep them. So I think you are, and Ghana is not about big English, it's about the people you connect to that can support you. Yes. Yeah, but let me go straight into business, right? Where comes that passion of Marricke Kofi Gane for Ghana and Africa? Because your passion supersedes too many people that I have known.
Well, Oscar, I think it's the many years of experiencing some of the things, we've all experienced. I think we all experience things differently. So I wouldn't say that the things I've experienced in my beloved Ghana is different from what others have experienced. I think the real difference is that some of us still believe that Ghana has more than we need to be able to turn around everything that is not working for us to become something that works for us. And so for me, it is me channeling my anger and my disgust into something productive. And I think that is something we can all do. But the other thing, Oscar, is that I have been fortunate. I have traveled around quite a bit. The more I travel, the more I see a reason why we shouldn't be where we are. Because I have seen other countries that have less than what we have, but have done much for themselves. And so, the more you get exposed to what could work, the more you get angry about why it isn't working. Plus, I was raised in a quite a regimented way. So sometimes I see what we tried to do in 2020 and hopefully will continue as a duty rather than, let everybody sit in their corner. I did what I did in the last couple of years because to me, I felt this country had given me so much. and that it was out of order for me to sit by and see the country being raped in the way it was being raped and still is being raped, and not even attempt to do something about it. I want to be able to, at some point in the future, when my children ask me when I saw things going bad, what did you do? And we will all face that question, whether to ourselves or from our children at some point. And we should be able to rise up and say, you know what, when things were going in direction A, I stood up and I had myself counted. I made a difference. You know, so yeah, we all have different motivations, but I think the important thing is to see it as a duty for us to move this country forward. It's not about parties. It's about moving this country forward. One of the things I say to people is that, look, if you are part of a particular party and the country is not doing well, being part of that party makes there's no profit to it. And so sometimes it becomes necessary that you put aside where your allegiances are politically and do what is best for all of us so that we can all benefit and move this country forward. If Ghana is doing well, it doesn't even matter if you're in the NDC or the MPP or the PPP or an independent person, you would also do well. But if just the political parties are doing well or the members at the top are doing well and yet the entire country isn't, then we'll all eat the bad soup some, like my friend would always say.
Exactly. But let me ask you this. You decided to go as an independent presidential candidate.
Yeah.
When did you make that decision that this is the moment I have made this decision?
Well, the thing about politics is that you, at every time of the journey, you have to feel what the ground is feeling. There were a number of reasons why we went independent. At the time I decided we wanted to do this, the time was quite short to be going around the country, setting up offices, you know, in terms of forming a political party and all that. We could have done that. But one, the timing was quite short. That's one. Number two, the feel on the ground was that people were feeling despondent about the NDC, people were feeling despondent about the NPP. And so, you know, there was the need to offer Ghanaians something different from what they've been used to, something different from what at the time they believed was not working. You know, so there were several things that came into play in order to run as an independent candidate. It was fresh, it was new, it was something exciting, especially for the young folks who felt that finally we get to break away from the duopoly. And so it was the right thing to do at the time.
Wow. Because one of the things I always ask is that, please bear with me to call you a young man, yeah? So
I am very, very young, Oscar.
Yes. So this is a young man who has really lived abroad for some time, decides to come home, and he wants to be part of the solution. But when you look at the system, this man, does he have a chance? Does he have the resources? Because these are some of the questions that people were asking. But I could see that you were able to maneuver yourself through every stage of the process. And I call that in itself as leadership. But how were you able to do it?
Oh, that's a very easy question to answer, Oscar. You know, in as much as you say I'm very passionate about what I do, the truth is that there were really, really amazing people in my corner. You know, most of them have become like family to me now. there were people who equally threw themselves at this, threw their jobs on the line, through their time, through their families, men, women, alike, their children. So, and these are things that most people don't see in the background. The reality is that there were a good number of amazing Ghanaians who threw themselves at this in the background, working day and night, and for me that was a real blessing, me rather, to be a part of them, because it stopped being about me. They made me see that, I wasn't the only person dreaming this. They made me see that I wasn't the only person passionate about this country. And so it's exciting to have people like that in your corner, that that whether it's 1 a.m. at night or 3 a.m. at night or 1 p.m. in the afternoon, if you need them to show up, they will show up. So, yes, I was passionate about what I was doing, but the real energy, the real heart in this came from the people in my corner that I was working with. Very amazing people, very passionate people. Some of them, people you might not even think are actually that passionate. And so in the process, I have learned not to underestimate people's passion, because you might see somebody and say, oh, they look like this or they behave this way, so you don't think they'll be passionate about this agenda. And they throw themselves at you and everything you're doing, and you realize that, wow, these people even have more passion than I do. And for me, that's what keeps me going on, knowing that there are other people who are as crazy as I am about this agenda, and who are as passionate or even more passionate than I am. And these are the real people who make me proud to be a Ghanaian.
Now, let me ask you this question. This question, it just dawned on me. But because you made mention that you have traveled a lot, you've seen different countries where they started from and where they are, meaning that we can also do it, right? Now, I want to ask you this question. As typical Ghanaians, our leaders and the people, do you think we love Ghana?
Do I think we love Ghana?
Yes.
That's an interesting question. I think we all love Ghana in different ways. There are people who love Ghana for the money they can make out of Ghana. There are people who love Ghana because of what Ghana has done for us. I mean, Ghana made me, for example. In my case, I cannot talk about my story without ever talking about Ghana. So I feel that I owe it to Ghana, to be also a blessing to her. So people see Ghana in that light. Some people also see Ghana and they love Ghana not because they want to do something for Ghana, but they love Ghana because of what they can dig or get out of Ghana. So it depends on how the love is defined for everybody, but in terms of the question you asked, I will tell you without mincing words, our leaders have been a big disappointment. We need to say it as it is. There's hardly a lot we can point to that shows that they can put their lives down for this country. There's hardly a lot we can point to. I have always said that the real proof of leadership at national level or country level is that whenever a leader comes into office, they should leave office making the country better for Ghanaians and the next generation, so that when they also come, they are starting at a higher level, and then they also build and leave it higher than they came to meet it. That is how we progress. But where we have leaders who come and then most aspects of our society deteriorate, you ask yourself, what do the next generation start building from? And for me, that is the real test of whether we've got leaders who are passionate about this country or not. I mean, most of us are not too old. We've seen what Ghana used to be like. We've seen what Ghana is like today. We know the kind of resources we have. We're not saying that there hasn't been any progress at all. But if you look at the resources we have, the human resources we have, the natural resources we have, and you see where other countries who do not have these things, where they've gotten to, surely we must ask ourselves questions. And even the things that happen on a daily basis, the corruption, the acts of corruption, the acts of plunder, the acts of, hey, today money has been lost here. We make noise and then another day, another bulk of money gets lost. It keeps getting lost. Nobody gets to be, made to pay. And these things keep happening and happening and happening. People die. No questions are asked. No culprits are found. There are scandals. Nothing gets to be done. Tomorrow we hear this big man has done that. This big woman has done this. We all shout and then it ends there. Nothing. So even on a daily basis, you realize that this is not progress. This cannot be progress. I long for a day where the only news we are having is how we have climbed a step higher than Switzerland in a particular area, how we have done better than Kenya in a particular area. That's the news that we should be hearing on a daily basis. Not every week there's some scandal. Every week somebody has misused some money. Every week some minister or some government person has done something, or some big politician has done something. It is always something wrong in society, in a political space, and it gets wearisome. It gets really wearisome. I always question whether Ghanaians are magicians, because I don't see how we get through this on a daily basis, 365 days every year for almost 30 years, and we're still going at it. There's nothing. It must take magicians. We must be magicians, or we are the most tolerant or robust human beings on earth. We must take that.
But sometimes we always talk about the leaders not really living up to expectation. But Marricke, let me ask you this: who do you think? Which people are supposed to hold the leaders accountable for them to do the right thing? Because you see, there is one thing I've seen, that if somebody knows your weakness, then they know how to manipulate you. And I think the leaders know the weakness of the people, and they are manipulating it very, very well to their advantage. Now,
I don't disagree. You're asking a question: who is supposed to hold the leaders accountable?
Exactly.
Well, look, my brother, you see, people say, I've heard it said before in other places, that the leaders we choose reflect us. But I think we also miss the point that the reason why we, the people, choose some other people to be leaders is because we know our weakness, and so we choose those who we feel can be better than us in order to take us out of that weakness, or raise us to also become better people. So I don't buy into the argument that our leaders reflect us. Our leaders should reflect a better version of who we, the people, want to be, and that's why we choose these people. And so I understand and I accept that our constitution hasn't been helpful. It actually institutionalizes the wrongs that are happening in society. But you ask yourself, would it take the people to push for those constitutional changes, or it would take the leaders we put our trust in? And so if for almost 30 years we've been putting our trust in leadership of the NDC, leadership of the MPP, that they would eventually make sure that the constitution reflects some level of modernity. It will now reflect some level of progress. The things that are in need that are not helping us, they will lead the way, so we expunge them out. And they are not getting it done. Then in reality, we don't love ourselves. Wow. And this is no more politics. It's simply that we don't love ourselves. Because if somebody is misusing you for 30 years and you still can't ask them to leave the house, then we don't love ourselves. And that is one of the things I have come to find, is that we've become fixated with the NDC NPP. But sometimes too, I think it's also psychological. I mean, I have read books on experiments that have been done. If you put somebody through a stress situation for so long, they become not addicted, but they become used to that stress level.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've been so used to seeing corruption that these days, when you talk about corruption in Ghana, the next thing is caricatures and cartoons, and we'll laugh at them and we'll normalize it. And then we move on to the next one. You know, so we are looking for leaders, and this is what we should be looking for as Ghanaians. We are looking for leaders who are capable of even leading themselves. To say, okay, Mr. Oscar, the people have not demanded accountability from you regarding A, B, and C, but because you are a leader that is accountable to yourself, you will say, even though people have not asked me, I want to do it and I need to do it. Because by so doing, you are inspiring the population to get back to the level that is normal, the real normal, which is that they should be able to demand for accountability. They should be able to hold leaders accountable. Forget about which party they belong to. Forget about which family they come from. But you see, you are right when you say leadership sees our weakness and they take advantage of it. They know when we'll talk for 2 weeks and maximum we'll leave it, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Exactly. But the kind of leaders that you are talking about, the leaders that they lead themselves, they are accountable to themselves. Do you think some exist in Ghana or even on the continent?
Why not? Why not?
If they exist, do you think there are opportunities for them to serve?
Well, I think that is an area that we all have to join hands, because look, our politics is such that now there are people who benefit from the system not functioning well. And so, and they are everywhere, whether in the NDC or the MPP, they are everywhere. And so for them, it is a good thing if the system does not work. Effectively, what it also means is that for them to continue being in an environment where they can function well and the system is not working, they have to erect barriers for new entrants who have a clean mind, who have a straight, conscience, and who just want to make Ghana work. And that is what we've seen in 2020. That's what we will see probably in even 2024. That's what we've seen in the last couple of elections. You know, there's always going to be a roadblock put in the path of those who can change the status quo, because believe it or not, the status quo is working for some people. Once they know that they can run and hide under the constitution, they have no motivation to change the constitution. Once leaders know that if I employ the IGP, for example, I can control the police force, there is no motivation to change that process of appointment. Once the leadership knows that if I appoint everybody or the large population of people at cocoa board, no matter how much cocoa we sell, I can determine where the money goes, he has no motivation to choose them in a different manner. So, you know, the real issue is that the people in office, or who get into office, or who have been getting into office the last many years, they benefit from the system. And so it is to their advantage to come together and ensure that they put barriers in the path of those who want to change that system. So yes, those people exist.
But I want to go on the flip side of the people. Now, I had a young guy from Kenya. His name is Douglas Bundikirimi, and he made a powerful statement on my show. He's a very young political analyst in Kenya, and he says the African voter is a cartel, meaning that as a young person, if you want to go into politics, the voters demand so much from you that it doesn't matter your ideas, it doesn't matter your knowledge, it doesn't matter your leadership, you're still never going to win if you don't really provide what they demand. Now with this, is there a way forward? Because people buy votes in Africa, people buy votes in Ghana, whether we like it or yes. Do you think there is a way forward for that genuine young man with great ideas, with knowledge, with great leadership, has shown on a small scale that it can be done, meaning that when given a bigger stage, he is going to do wonders? Do you think those people have got a chance on our continent?
As is with everything, Oscar, it all depends on us, we the people. But let me also say that, you see, one of the things we miss in some of these conversations is the fact that a lot of people are in survival mode in Ghana. People need to eat. People need bread. If the situation hasn't been created within the economy where they are independently able to find their own bread and eat it without eating from somebody's hand, every politician in this country will become redundant. And so, and it starts from education. And so we have a situation where quality of education, quality of living standards, quality of health, quality of pretty much everything is pretty much just centered around a few areas of this country. And so the remaining country is hugely dependent on the few politicians who make these things happen, or who are in a position to make decisions about these things. Ask yourself, why do politicians wait till election year before they come and bring bulldozers to say they want to do roads? They are playing on the needs of the citizen. They know the citizens have their needs, but they will not satisfy those needs until close to election, because that. So let's also give our citizens the credit that, look, when they vote in a certain way, they are doing so just purely out of raw survival instincts. For somebody in that entire year, or in the entire 4 years, the only time he's going to have some tangible benefit is not going to be in a road, it's not going to be in a factory, it's going to be from the 200 or 100 cities he's going to get from a politician.
Wow.
So a lot of people are in survival mode. Look, I put a challenge to any politician, whether in government or otherwise, especially in government. Give every citizen the ability to be educated up to a very high level, up to a very high standard, and see whether they would ever depend on you again, because they will not. They have now been empowered with the ability to create their own resources or create their own income or streams of income. They won't need a politician. That is why when a politician in Ghana is talking to people in the hinterlands, in the villages, the message is entirely different from when he's talking to people in the city.
In Accra or in Kumasi.
Because he knows the people in the city can create their own daily bread.
Mm-hmm.
So they have very minimal relevance here. In Accra, people vote how they want to vote, not by where they will get 100 cedis from, not by whether somebody will contribute 20 cedis to their funeral. So that tells you that if the standard of living was equal across the country, the politics in this country would also be different. And so I dare say to us all that, look, our politicians intentionally create these barriers in our society. Because where do the majority of Ghanaians live? They live in the hinterlands out there, where they don't have internet. You think if they had internet and they were seeing what other countries are doing and what we are doing and are able to start making comparisons, you think they won't start asking questions?
Definitely.
Good. You think if they had the same access to facilities in Accra, in the hinterlands, and they can borrow money and also use it with their connections to do something and add some value to their lives, and there's inflow of money, you think they'll still depend on the politician for the 50 cedis in election year? No, they won't.
No.
You think if they made enough money to also put their children in the right, school system, have the right quality of education, the next generation is also elevated and all that, you think they will depend on the man who would be able to pay one-term school fees for their children? They will not. So the real thing we are doing here is that politicians have tied up the standards of living, because look, NDC will come 4 years, 8 years, NPP will come 4 years, 8 years. Ask yourself, how come the gap is still widening between the haves and the have-nots? Why is the gap between the haves and the have-nots still increasing? Every year, it is increasing. The statistical reports are there. We should read them. Every year, the gap, the poverty, the standard of living gap between the South and the North is still increasing. Why? And yet, we'll stand and shout development. So, Oscar, the real issue is that, look, Ghanaians are in survival mode, sadly. And until we get them out of that survival mode, this pattern of being able to pay people out for their votes will continue. You are in the UK. How many people can be bought in the UK with money?
No.
None.
You don't even realize whether there is elections or not. It's a normal day as usual. Who is talking about politics?
Nobody comes to stand anywhere in the UK or London or wherever and shout that if you don't vote for me, this road cannot be completed. Who dare you?
No.
Roads are being done every day. The man goes to work and he finds his money. He's surviving on his own. He doesn't need you to survive.
Yes.
You see, so the thing I'm talking about is the reason why a lot of things happen. People will talk about decentralization. We don't have decentralization. We have decentralization of party offices and politics, but we don't have decentralization of our fiscal machinery. We don't have decentralization of a lot of things. And the reason why that is not the case is if you allow every region to be decentralized, fully decentralized, and be able to take care of itself and its people without a major interference by central government, every politician will become redundant.
Yes.
It is the same thing. And so, look, we need to wake up. That's all I'm going to say. We, the people, need to wake up. The real solution is that we, the people, have to wake up and realize that, look, we've been doing this for almost 30 years. How far has your own life gone forward in the last 30 years? What has government done for you to make your life go forward, your children's life go forward?
But you are talking about the people should wake up.
We are the
but you are talking about
the solution.
Yeah, but you are talking about the people should wake up. But it looks like from your statement also, it also shows that the people have developed a particular mindset. And that particular mindset is a survival mindset. Now, because if we don't change the mindset of the people, how can the people really wake up? And I think this is not really aligned. How can we align this for the people to be responsible to help build the Ghana we want to see?
Oscar, look, the reality is that if we want to do this, we can do it. Okay. I'm taking you, for example, Oscar. You have, I hope I'm still online. Am I still online?
Yeah, you are. I can hear you.
Okay. Oscar, it doesn't take much to make change happen.
Okay.
There is a movie you should watch. It's called A Few Good Men. It takes just a few good men to make change happen. Look, you have influence, I have influence. There are probably a minimum of 1,000 people sitting there right now that if I said to them that let's do this, they will hear me, they will listen. They will follow what I ask them to do. That's influence. If we who have influence can recognize, and we don't have to be a lot of us, if we who have influence can recognize that we have what it takes to pull people along to think in the direction that we are thinking, then we can get somewhere. I say to people, look, I made a post the other day and I said, look, it's not the ordinary Ghanaian who is sitting in his village minding his business, who has no idea how politics is done or the nitty-gritty about how a country is run. It is not them who are the problem in this country. The people who are the problem in this country is we who have gone far in our thinking, we who understand that something is going wrong, we who actually have the influence to bring those who do not know on board and say, look, you might be sitting there, but there's something wrong happening and we need to change it. Come with me. I know you respect me. You value my views. Follow me and let's do this. It is we who have the ability to make change happen. We who have the influence to influence others to make that change happen. And we who are capable of working for that change happen, who sit quiet. We are the real reason why this country is where it is. Oscar, if there were 500, if there were 1,000 people like you and me going about making the kind of noise we make about the need for a shift in the status quo, and they have followers as much as you and I do, Oscar, we would have gone far. But if everybody is going to sit and say, as long as I am okay, my family has been sorted, my parents have been sorted, and I'm in my little corner, and at least I can have my daily bread. I can manage to go on one holiday a year. I have food. I don't have problem. As long as I am okay, I don't want anything to do with this country. We are the reason why, if this country collapses, it is us. We are the reason.
It means that we are sitting in our comfort zone and we are not really making that step. But I think I agree with you. So it means that when you look at those of us who are a bit ahead, is not a bit ahead in terms of anything, but in terms of knowledge, exposure, in terms of experience, in terms of education and all that. Do you think we are really giving a helping hand to the youth? And do you think there is any future for the youth considering the state that we are in? Because look, let me give you a typical example. Last year, I had the opportunity to really speak for NAPCO, I think Adenta and Medina chapter. And Marricke, if I tell you the number of students that was on the scheme in those two constituencies, it was amazing. Now, the question is that these are a few that have been able to be on this. So where are the rest? Meaning that, to be honest, with the youth, we are sitting on a time bomb. Now, with the level we find ourselves, do you think there is any future for the youth?
Oscar, I have often said that in this country, when we talk about unemployment, we often think it is the graduates from school who have not got a job who are the unemployed. There are hundreds of thousands of people out there who may have dropped out very early, maybe in JSS or primary school, who have become adults now, who also don't have jobs. So when you say we are sitting on a time bomb, well, I hope our leaders know that we are sitting on a time bomb. Because there is only so far. Look, let me give you an example. I have a lot of young men in my neighborhood. Every day they come to my place, we talk, I encourage them. What I can help them, I help them with. In the last couple of weeks, every single one of them has been telling me that now they have to find ways of leaving this country and going out. One even was bold enough to tell me even if he has to go through the Sahara, he will do it or wherever. No amount of begging, because you see, some of them wanted to leave 2 years ago, and I encouraged them that let's stay and do 2020 and let's see what comes out of it. After everything that has happened, they felt, well, now nothing is happening to them, nothing is happening for them. And obviously, with Corona and everything coming in, the situation is even more dire now. So, yes, there's a ton of issues that need to be dealt with. The real crux of it is that, are we concerned about our citizens enough? Are we concerned about our citizens enough? Because we've gotten to a stage where the way we have to look at things is no more about GDP, debt to GDP ratio, GDP, or inflation. No. We now have to start. Look, the only measure we should be talking about now should be the standard of living of individual citizens. That is the way we should be talking about things now. So that this issue of we are talking GDP and debt to GDP ratio, but it is not reflecting in people's pockets. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And so I have often said, look, there are two economies that we are running in this country. One is the one on paper, the GDP that you see politicians talk about, everyday GDP to debt ratio, everyday inflation. But there is a totally different economy that is reflecting in the individual Ghanaians' pockets. And they are not on the same level. Wow. And so you ask the question whether there is hope for those youth. To answer the question bluntly, there is not.
It's quite interesting, What does the future hold? Hello?
Oscar, what did you say?
I said, what does the future hold?
The future is in the hands of those of us who can. People like you and me, Oscar, those of us who can. Because you see, the reality is that those who we are trying to help, they first of all, they are in the dark. Secondly, they are in survival mode. And I have worked in the jungles of Congo. I'll tell you one thing. If you are hungry, you don't even fear a bullet. If you are hungry, you don't even fear a bullet. Because every day you are alive, you are dead. So you see, it is no strange thing that people think that the coronavirus is even for people in Accra. Because look, the hassle they are going through on a daily basis, as far as they are concerned, they are already dead and they are walking around. So it's not coronavirus that you are going to use to scare them. They are not scared of coronavirus. They are dying on a daily basis. through the hustle. And so it is no strange thing that people are not respecting the laws around the management of the corona, because we are not helping them even feel that they are alive, and let alone be scared that they might die. For them, every day they wake up is death. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. A friend of mine would say the hustle is real. Yes, the hustle is really real.
Very real.
For many people. No, Oscar, look, we think about these things, and these big men who drive big cars, they walk around. So, they don't feel the things people feel on the ground. I do. I have young graduates who are they ride lotto in a kiosk. Oscar. You can't see these things and not be passionate. People are out of school, they are writing lotto in a kiosk. Young people want to work, whether it is in everywhere they turn around, they are being asked, they have to go and pay money to get the job. I mean, how? And this is not experience from one person, two people, three people. I get this every day. So when we sit down and we talk, people think we are just painting a gloomy picture. No, if you like these people, like, they should get out of their air conditions and go out there and talk to the real people and see the lives people are living. And we say we are what, 60, how many years old? and the standard of living of the majority of us, come on now. Come on now. Anyway, this is not for this show.
because there is something that sometimes I feel that if you really want to see that Ghanaian youth are working, just drive through the is it N24 or is it whatever it is, and every traffic light that you see, how these young people are really hustling. And it's not that they are there for 8 hours that people go to work 9 to 5. No, they are the first to see in the morning 5 a.m. and they are the last to see around 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. These people do more than 12 hours a day just to survive.
There was a young girl the other day I met in Kwashima. She was carrying ice water. Okay. She said she can't go home if she doesn't sell. So I had to ask her how much is all that. I don't need ice water. I have water at home. I had to call her. Call her. I said, how much is all the water? She told me the price. I gave it to her with extra on top. And I said, look, I don't need water at home. If you have to go and throw the water away and take your container home, just go and do that. But she's not even 15 years old. 11 p.m. going to 12 a.m. She's on the road, Oscar. And you want to tell me that politicians in their big cars don't drive and see these things on the road?
They see it.
They buy this bread from this, and some of these guys you see on the road at the traffic lights are graduates.
Yes.
So where is the conscience? You want to tell me people don't see these things on the road? Anyway, I don't blame them, Shia. When they are coming, they do their pumping and the road scatters, Red Sea divided and they pass through. So they never really stop at the traffic light to see these things.
Wow.
So you asked me about what is the future for the youth. What we are describing is the future for the youth. And this is not even those who are entrepreneurs who are struggling. I find a lot of young people around who are pushing their weight, pounding their weight, trying to get above themselves and all that.
Oh, yes.
They are not getting the help they need.
No.
Most of them have been left on their own.
No. The Ghanaian youth is not lazy. The Ghanaian youth is not lazy.
No. No, they just want to be recognized for
Yes.
their efforts and given an opportunity and
Yeah.
some support. That is all they're asking for.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
told a young Ghanaian that where I used to live in the borough of Southwark in London, the borough, that's the local council, has a fund that if you're a young person and you're thinking about some entrepreneurship venture, they call you in. They have some collaboration with Barclays Bank. They look at whatever you want to do. If they think that it's something that is viable, they will support you. That is just the local environment. Oscar, it's not national. No. This is local. The last time I was ever in London, that was almost about a couple of years back. The last time I was in London, guess what I saw? The bridges, the arches, they have started converting the under of it to cheap offices that entrepreneurs can rent out and do business, because they understand that they don't have the money to start their business. But if they can support them up to a certain level and those businesses boom, they will recover more than they are putting in. How much does it cost to support young people? The other day we were talking about a judgment debt of close to 200 million Ghana cedis, dollars or cedis. Is it cedis or dollars? I can't even remember. Do you have any idea how much that can support? How many young people that can support? And yet we are just going to pay that money. We haven't benefited from the services to be delivered by that money. Nothing. We are just going to pay it because somebody made a lousy mistake. And I guarantee you, Oscar, that person is not going to see the inside of a jail.
No. No.
And yet, let that young person who is struggling and who goes to steal bread to feed himself, I guarantee you he will see the inside of a jail for another 5 years.
Wow.
Now, we are painting a too dim a picture.
No.
Get out of your air conditioning and talk to young people on the roads. You will see the things we see.
I think as you said, we need to start from somewhere. We need to build, but trust me, there is one thing I always say, and that is you can only influence when you are in a position of influence. So that is why I like people like you who wants to get to the top where you can make decisions. Because if you cannot make decisions, then it means that your resources is very small. You will just be helping a community rather than helping a nation. But we want to get to the stage where we can make decisions that will affect the nation. So because of that, my last question to you is that what are you doing now from now to the next 4 years?
I am doing what I know to do best. Be a professional. I knew this question was going to come. But I mean, look, Oscar, I am not your ordinary type of politician. I am not the type who wants to come and steal a lot of money and hoard the money so that even when I'm not in office, I can be chopping from the monies of the people that I stole. I'm a professional through and through. I learned something when I was in the UK is that some of the colleagues I worked with were retired MPs. You know, as soon as they got out of politics, they went back to being professionals. And so in the coming weeks or months or years or whatever it is, I've always loved being a professional. I will still continue working. I will still continue working, and as a matter of fact, we're still progressing with this agenda. We'll see how it pans out. The important thing is to get a lot more people now on board. Hopefully, we've got a lot more Ghanaians who believe that something does need to change, and that they are willing to throw themselves out there. Oscar, the truth is that it's not even a question about what am I going to be doing this next 4 years. The reality is that there's a lot more of us who need to be doing a lot more in the next 4 years. It can't take me alone or my team and I. It would take an awful lot of us with influence, an awful lot of us who have the ability, an awful lot of us who are in a position to make a difference. It'll take us. Look, we can't keep saying we don't want to sacrifice, we want to be in our little corner and be satisfied. One day, you'll be in your little corner, son. The thing that you were trying not to touch, the thing that you've been avoiding from changing, it will come and smack you in your corner. That's the way it goes.
Wow.
So we had better all step forward, and be counted and do what we need to do. And we should be ashamed. Aren't we ashamed that after everything this country has done for us, we see it in the state it is and we are comfortable in our corners?
We cannot.
No.
We cannot.
No, that cannot be right. Your conscience must not even serve you right. Every single one of us is capable. You cannot be sitting on the fence anymore. You cannot say media politics is dirty and therefore I don't want. It is dirty because people like you and I are not in it. It is going bad because those of us who can get it right are outside. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there.
There is something I always say, that if you want to score a goal, you need to be on the pitch.
You need to be on the pitch.
Yeah. You cannot sit on a bench thinking about scoring a goal. You cannot be a spectator thinking about scoring a goal. If you want to score a goal, go on the pitch. And even to go on the pitch, you have to be strategic. You cannot go on a pitch and be a defender. Your chances of scoring is very slim. You need to go up front. So you cannot sit down and think that things will change for you. And there is one thing I even tell people who are living in diaspora. I always tell them that, look, you think this problem that we are having in Ghana, in Africa, it doesn't concern you. Now, one day, your child that has been born and bred in this country, one day will wake up and say, enough is enough. I'm going back to Ghana. I'm going back to Nigeria. I'm going back to Kenya. Now, when they go and they start finding challenges, that is when they will ask you, daddy or mommy, what role did you play for this Ghana to be where it is today? And all of us have got a role to play. You cannot sit down idle and expect anything to change. There is a saying that if you are not part of the solution, then obviously you are part of the problem. And being part of the solution doesn't mean that you have to go and do a bad thing. No. Last Tuesday, I interviewed one young person that I have mentored for the last 5 years. When I started mentoring him, he didn't have $1. Today, he has got his own office, employed 2 people. He's been able to buy a car of his own for his business just because one person decided to mentor that young person. What are you doing in your own small corner to really guide one young person for them to really get to where they have to be? I was so emotional when this young man got to me and about 2-3 weeks ago. He sent me the picture of the car and he said, Oscar, thank you very much. Because of you, I've been able to buy my first car for my business. And this is the Africa that we want to see. So you have to be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. Now, before we go, I would like to really mention about some of the, I think we have lost Marricke, he's going to come back. Before we go, I want to really mention a few of the comments here. I've got Africa B, Ghana B. He says, so-called middle-class Ghanaians are the real problems of our Ghana. Then we have got Stuart Litwiller says, in order for change to happen, the pain of staying the same must get greater than the pain of changing, getting out of your comfort zone. That is really powerful. Then also we have PKTS.org says this is why schools have a big role to play by promoting true servant leadership among young people at school. Franklin Ajete, CEO of PKTS. Yes, Franklin Ajete was on this show some few weeks back. Then I also have Africa B says Ghanaian politicians have simply hijacked our country. Then I have got Stuart Litwiller coming out to say, good question, Oscar. Although if there is corruption in the voting process, the people no longer have a voice. Then I've got Food, stay connected with your friends. There are so many comments over there. But trust me, it's been a wonderful discussion with my guest, Marricke Kofi Gane, who was a presidential independent presidential hopeful in 2020 elections, but he didn't get to the next round to really participate. But he really contributed, and he really shaped our politics in a way, because this man really came in with a different perspective to politics. Young man, energetic, full of wisdom and energy, knowledge and understanding. He understands what the youth want, because I always say this, that we are living in a digital world, but we are managed by leaders who are in the analog world. That is, some people call them BBC before they were born before computers. Yeah, but we need to really get the right leaders to lead us, the leaders that can really help us to get to where we are. Our leaders are doing well. We are not saying that they are totally down or totally bad, but there is always more room for improvement. They say the biggest room we can ever have is the room of improvement. Let us work together as Ghanaians. Let us work together as one people. Let us build the Ghana we want to see. Be part of the solution in your own small way. Influence the people around you positively, and let us build the Ghana that we want to see. I always say that it is possible if only you want to believe, if only you believe. My name is Oscar. I'm your regular host for the Step Out Step Out with Oscar Bimpon shows. And we are coming on Saturday with another program. I've got a very young coach, very knowledgeable, highly educated. The man will inspire you. He's got a story to share, and he's got a powerful topic to share with us. That is on Saturday, 8 p.m. Please don't change the dial. See us on Saturday. It's going to be an amazing discussion. And if you are watching us, we want to encourage you to share this for somebody to have an opportunity to really watch this as well. Like our page on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to come your way once again on Saturday. God richly bless you, and God richly bless Marricke Kofi Gane for your time. See you, and bye-bye.